Hello, good afternoon. This is Sky News at 12. Our main story here today, UKIP's campaign chief has launched a personal attack on his leader, Nigel Farage, claiming he's turning the party into a personality cult. Patrick O'Flynn described Mr Farage as a snarling, thin-skinned and aggressive man and called on him to adopt a more consultative and consensual leadership style. Well, we can speak now to UKIP's Patrick O'Flynn. He joins us now live from Peterborough. Very good afternoon to you. As we said there, you said in your interview with The Times that Nigel Farage had become a snarling, thin-skinned, aggressive man. Why did you say that? What did you mean?
Well, what I'm getting at here is that is the public face which too often during the campaign people saw. Now, if anyone thinks or supposes that I'm planning some kind of coup against Nigel, they couldn't be more wrong. He is my political hero and will remain so. And he's taken UKIP, he's done amazing things, and I've been a loyal supporter of his leadership all the way along. But he has unfortunately fallen a couple of people in his inner circle who, to use want for a term, are wrong uns in my view, and are trying to influence him in a direction which is neither productive for UKIP nor, even more importantly at the moment, productive for the general campaign to get Britain out of the EU. And that should be our number one objective as UKIP members now, is to maximise the chance of Britain voting to leave the EU in the next couple of years. And no one should have any truck with anything that puts that goal in jeopardy.
You also said that Nigel Farage's recent behaviour risked depicting the party as an absolute monarchy, and yet he did resign, as he'd promised to do when he failed to win his seat, didn't he? He says that he then was persuaded back, or was told that his resignation wouldn't be accepted by the party's NEC. He didn't have a choice, did he?
Sorry, the sound's not terribly good. I just didn't get the last thing you said.
Did he have a choice in not resigning?
Well, look, I don't know what happened on Monday. I wasn't at the London office where the NEC took place. But again, I would have advised Nigel never to have said that he was going to stand down. I'm the person actually who was his campaign manager last autumn, who got the nominations in support of his current term of leadership. And I have to say, it wasn't a difficult task, and nobody else stood, which I was very glad about. So I thought it was he was poorly advised to say that he was going to stand down if he didn't win Thanet, and that was massively narrowing his options unnecessarily. Then I tried to get in touch on the night after polls closed to urge him to take some time for reflection, and that didn't happen either, and I wasn't able to talk to him. But as I say, the advisors he's got around him have got an awful lot to account for, because, as I say in the Times, that this risks giving the perception of turning us into a personality cult, where you have, a leader resigning and then unresigning. Far better that he hadn't made that statement in the first place, and had taken some time for reflection and consulted people who've got his best interests at heart, rather than some people around him who would like to take UKIP in the direction of some hard right, ultra aggressive American Tea Party type movement. Now, UKIP will prosper, and has prospered, when it positions itself in the common sense centre of British politics, as we did with our excellent election manifesto, and when Nigel Farage leads it from the centre of the party, or perhaps just to the right of centre of the party. People who want to get rid of the National Health Service, or liberalise gun laws, or whatever other US imports they want to peddle for their own agendas, should go and set up a party to push that line and see how they get on, because I predict it won't be well. Now, can I go back to my fundamental point? Is our duty in UKIP, everyone in UKIP, from the leader downwards, to maximise our chances of winning an EU referendum in 2 years' time, or perhaps even less. We have to be inclusive. We have to bring in groups of non-traditional supporters. We have to reach out. We have to be team players in that wider Eurosceptic
but I just want to be
movement
absolutely clear
in the
here.
next couple of years.
Patrick O'Flynn, sorry to interrupt. It's clear that you have a problem with the aides around Nigel Farage, but what about Nigel Farage himself? Should he stand down? Do you want a leadership contest?
No. No, he was elected unopposed, I think it was last September, for a 4-year term. I would much rather there'd been none of this hiatus about leadership at all, and that would have been my advice to Nigel had he sought it before what he said. He should run for the 4-year term, he should serve the 4-year term, he should lead us into the referendum campaign, he should recapture the optimistic, cheerful, reaching out, cheeky Nigel Farage, that such an inspiration to me, and I believe he can, but I believe there are a couple of people around him who I won't name, are influencing him in the wrong direction. Well, I won't dignify them by naming them, but they have been given far too much sway, far too much influence, and have treated certain very loyal party staffers absolutely abysmally, and someone needs to call time on them. So let's be clear, those are the people I have an issue with in terms of their conduct and advice to the party leader. I am a loyal supporter of Nigel Farage's leadership. I just want to get it back to how it was before this group came to prominence. OK,
you say you're very loyal to Nigel Farage, but how helpful do you think this intervention is to him? Our political correspondents have been taking soundings from various people in UKIP since you did this interview. They've come back with quotes like Farage freak show, kids who think they're in the West Wing, describing you as having personal problems. Nigel Farage is clearly now an extremely tired and stressed man, says another person. They talk about you saying that you're inexperienced, a scribbler with a single-tier education, one person says. I mean, does that give you a sense of a party in free fall and lots of fighting within it?
No, it gives me a sense of a couple of rather poisonous individuals who are seeking to project themselves as essential to the leadership, when in fact they're just concerned about their own position. And I think my intervention will prove to be very helpful, because I think things were reaching an unsustainable footing in terms of the influence of these individuals on the direction of the party and leading very senior people in the party to get to the stage of virtually tearing their hair out, right? So those advisors need to go. And everyone, I am sure, will get behind Nigel, and we will run a united team that will be a credit to UKIP, but also a massive benefit to the campaign to get Britain out of the EU, which is what UKIP was set up to achieve.
I'm sure Nigel Farage has a number of advisors, and you wouldn't want to be tarring them all with the same brush, I'm sure. So let's be specific, shall we? Who are you talking about that you would like to stop advising Nigel Farage?
I say they're people I'm not going to dignify by naming, but obviously certain journalists have got a fair idea, and you have other people in the party you can speak to, including party staff members who maybe don't feel they're at liberty to speak out in the way that I have spoken out. But I can tell you that the party staff, and the senior elected politicians in the party are overwhelmingly loyal and supportive of Nigel's leadership, but there's poisonous influences which have to be removed.
OK, well, Patrick O'Flynn, we appreciate your time today, joining us live there from Peterborough. Thank you.
Thank you.